Good evening, everyone. So we're starting off the evening here with Panzer Dragoon Saga. I love this little trailer. It's kind of like a trailer, what you're seeing here at first. The music is just so powerful. Azel, Panzer Dragoon RPG. So I believe that's what it was called in Japan. I'm not sure. But I remember that's what it was being advertised as up until the point that it came out as Panzer Dragoon Saga up here in the United States. I'm getting goosebumps just watching this little trailer and hearing the music. This is an excellent, excellent game, and probably the poster child for why video game preservation needs to be really prioritized, because works of art like this is just getting lost out there. And with the whole history of this game and all that happened on it, and just not being widely accessible, right, to the public audience, it's crazy to me. It was a game on the Sega Saturn, which the system wasn't too popular, and it came out right towards the end of its lifespan. And that such a quality title has been kind of lost to the ages. It's truly heartbreaking. But they're coming out with this Panzer Dragoon 2's way. We're supposed to get some kind of a playable demo, or at least they're going to show a playable demo at the Tokyo Game Show this week sometime. So that does spark some hope, right? That potentially we could be seeing Panzer Dragoon Saga eventually come out. This game is a lot more in depth, and it's a lot more bigger, right? So I don't know if we would get a Panzer Dragoon Saga the way we've gone remakes of Part 1 and 2. But, here's hoping, right? Here's hoping. Maybe in another 10 years or so. I will say right off the bat that, just a little bit of a warning. This game is quite cutscene heavy. So, yeah, there is a lot of just sort of waiting around, right, and all, watching these cinemas. But they're pretty well done for the Sega Saturn, and the Sega Saturn couldn't quite do its clear cinematic CG cutscenes and all, but it was about as best as they could get on the Sega Saturn. So how am I playing this rare game? I originally had a copy of it on the Sega for the Sega Saturn, but I ended up selling it back in 2019 or so, right before the pandemic. And I've told the story before, but on one of my episodes on my little podcast thing. And but long story short, I needed some money, so I had to get rid of some stuff. And this is one of the games that I sold, which I got about a little over $1,000 for it. But here I'm playing it through emulation. So this is on my Odin 2, running it through the RetroArch Beetle Core for the Saturn. As far as I can see, what I've tested out of it and all plays pretty much flawlessly, as far as I can tell. I'm using a bit of a different mic today, so apologies if the sound comes out a little different. I'm gonna figure out how I can do it so that the sound comes out better. Yeah, while I'm still using the microphone, and I'm just, like I said, I'm just pointing the camera at the TV. I have a computer, my laptop, right pretty close by, so I'm sure if I got like a capture card and learn how to use all that, it would come out better. But I'm just kind of doing this very old-fashioned, like, I guess. But yeah, just enjoying a adult beverage here. Just kind of winding down for the day. I got tomorrow off. Kind of a long day today. Was on the road for a bit, just on a work trip, and just winding down a bit. Did also, I had got the Fantastic Four movie, and been wanting to watch that. I never got a chance to see it in the theater, so it recently came out to buy. So I bought that a couple days ago, and well, it just came out recently, but I pre-ordered it a couple days ago, and just watched it a little bit ago, and it's not bad. I enjoyed it. I probably my favorite Fantastic Four movie, which I enjoyed the first two movies. They weren't too bad. Well, the ones that came out in the mid 2000s. But this one, I did appreciate this one more, and just how they did Galactus was pretty cool. At least in the first time that you meet him, I thought that was a pretty impressive. And then the whole space escape scene, that was truly stunning. That was definitely something else. Yeah, not a bad watch. I enjoyed Fantastic Four first steps. I'm kind of a big movie nerd also, so every now and then I might sprinkle in some for things about movies, in some of these episodes that I have here. So just bear with me if you're not a movie fan and all you're just here for gaming content. Every now and then I might again go over some movie stuff. Maybe I'll do something dedicated to movies on the side. I don't know yet. But as you can see, right, we're already a few minutes into this and all, and it's just nothing but cutscenes. So. And this was back then where cutscenes weren't quite as expanded on, right, as they are nowadays. Now, I could be wrong, but I think I read somewhere that so part one and two had like they created a specific language or like a original language for this game series, and one and two because they were only just on rail shooters, so they didn't have a whole lot of story to them. I think that's what they were, right? Anytime there was spoken dialogue and all, it was made on some make believe language. This one, from what I heard, it has a part of that language, but then another part, the majority of it though, is Japanese. I can't quite tell. I mean, I don't know Japanese, and obviously, I can't decipher this made up language that they made for this, at least for part one and two. So, I mean, that it sounds Japanese, but I can't quite tell. I'll have to I'd have to look it up and all, but just a little bit of tidbit there, and also that if you wanted to research it further. Oh, lights out. There was some interview or so where there was mention that the source code of this game was lost, but then, well, I guess it's been like 5 or 6 years now, but they were like interviewing some of the creators of this game, and they were kind of alluding to like maybe they found it, and also there was like a translator that was going back and forth between um, the questions that were being asked and all. And so it was kind of alluding to that and all. So it's just kind of give it like a little bit of hope that maybe there'll be at some point, right, and all that they could bring this game back. But that was years ago and all, and it wasn't like any confirmation or anything. It was just sort of like looks like the interviewer and one of the creators and all were just sort of lighthearted bantering back and forth on it. Yeah, that guy's kind of a prick. So again, right, there is a lot of cutscenes in this. We're already 12 minutes into the 30 minutes here, and so again, just if anybody's tuning in here, for the first time. So basically, what I'm doing on the three games that I picked, so I try to do an episode each week where I discuss certain video games and all, and I do a little fun game of what I'm calling Relay of Gaming, where I just pick three random games on a list of games that I have, and I use a number generator. Whatever three games it picks, I just talk about it for a bit on my podcast episode, and then I try to stream them, well, quote unquote, stream them throughout the week. And so what I'm doing is I just want to show you like the first roughly 30 minutes of the game or so, right? So like, for example, if you were interested in this game, you get a bit of a preview of what this game is all about. I'm not going to show the whole thing, obviously, and all, unless the game is a fairly short game and I get done through most of it within the first 30 minutes. So like last week, I got a little ways into the Revenge of Shinobi, right, and all within the first 30 minutes and all. So just something to keep in mind and all, right? Again, I'm just kind of showing you the first 30 minutes, and I'm doing it this way here where I'm just pointing the camera at the screen and all, so that way you're not getting the full experience, right? If you were, to check it out yourself. I feel like sometimes when you stream a game and all that, I mean, it's pretty much, you could just watch it, right, and all that, and for no need to buy the game. I try to do it in a way where I'm just kind of giving you like a glimpse of the game and all that, right? But still leaving it up to you if you want to fully experience it, because it is a different experience, right? If you're actually playing it on your own and all, like on your own TV or your own device and such. So mainly, I'm just actually doing it just because it's my way of like trying to fight against AI, where I see all these AI videos and all that, and this is just sort of kind of doing it more old school the way we used to do it back in the day. I think we did it every now and then when we used to have like one of those handheld cameras and kind of try to show a little bit of gameplay and all that. But um, yeah, I don't know. Just trying to go a little bit more old school as much as I can. Yeah, but Panzer Saga. I mean, it was interesting because I bought this game at a Toys R Us, and I knew that the game had been announced, that it was supposedly coming out here in the States. But back then, we didn't have gaming news the way it is now, where it's up to the second, right, and all when like something's coming out and all that. Yeah, especially kind of more obscure games from Japan and all. It's just every now and then you would just go to the store and, oh, there it is. And that's kind of what happened with this one. Because I'd been hearing about this Panzer Dragoon Saga game that was supposedly coming out in the States. And I think I was just reading this in the gaming magazines. I went to Toys R Us one time and voila, there it was. So I snagged it right away because I got this Magic Knight Rares and Shining Force 3 roughly around the same time. I don't think I got them all at once, but around the same time. And little did I know back then that they would be some of the more highly sought after Sega Saturn games that were fetching for quite a high price, right? And all this, to sell them. Specifically, this one, just because there were so many limited copies made of this game. Oh, the Sega Saturn and its grainy, CG cinema cutscenes. Well, finally playing. So the controls are a little weird on this one. Like if you push, like for example, the C button, you have like this cursor that you can move around to check things out. So in this mode, it kind of plays almost like a point and click adventure, but you can still move your character. Let's see. Oh, there's one. Yeah, so definitely looks a little rough, and all if you're, more into newer games. But it was pretty impressive for the Sega Saturn, though, for sure. Oh. Oh, Edge, you're screwed. Interesting name for a main character, Edge, or the way they sort of pronounce it in this game, Edge, Edge. Oh, that's pretty sweet. You got an aura about you. I've been hearing this a lot. Like it's like it's always been a thing, right? Like you have an aura about you, but there's almost like a saying about it, almost like maybe a meme about it and all. What is that all about? I I'm getting older, and sometimes all the new like slang and sayings and all that. I'm done trying to keep up with all that stuff. I'm sticking to my lingo from back in the day. Yeah, the first part of this game can be a little trippy. Once you kind of get going on it, and I'll hear in a bit, then the game definitely opens up a lot more for you to be able to play it. It's just you do have to kind of slog through this initial intro. Which, on a first time playthrough, or if you're wanting to play a game that's really immersive and all that, I certainly don't mind it if you're telling me a good story, if you're setting things up for me and all. I don't mind it and all. Um, but again, just depending on the context of the game, what it's trying to tell you and all that. I always try to stop and think about like, this is kind of a forgotten game and all that, right? But people made this. There was an effort made to this. A group of people and all. Like, who were they? Wish there was like behind the scenes footage on. I mean, there is on a lot of stuff, but just wish there was more on more things. Maybe there is on this. I doubt it, but I guess I could check to see. But I don't know. I just sometimes, if it's something that I really enjoy and all, I like to get like a glimpse of like the people that made it, and all, like what were you all about. Put a face to the name, so to speak. Alright, so yeah, so the way you control this is a little weird. So you push the B button to kind of get them going. And then, for example, you push the C button to lock on to just random things that you see on just on the terrain there. And then, you get some random items. And now, sometimes some things I don't even know what it does. Like they're saying to access, but it doesn't really do anything. So I don't know. And the map splits up a little bit and all, where you can go to a few different paths. Yeah, so you get your map also, I believe. If I go here, yeah, here we go, display map. Yeah, see, it kind of shows you a map of the world there. Wow, the music is so beautiful in this. And I love this game. I love the concept of this game, the incredible game. I'm hyping myself up now for this reveal of Panzer Dragoon 2's Y that they're supposed to show sometime this week. And, again, the screenshots haven't looked too super great, but oh nope, I wanted to say my game first. Oops. But anything that's trying to bring Panzer Dragoon's series back, I'm all for it. Yeah, so there's sections where you can kind of go on foot, so to speak, and explore around a little bit. So this is the area, I think, where you originally started off on. Well, I don't understand the language and all as far as what exactly they're saying. I'm just going off of the words, but seems like the game had pretty good acting though. Oh yeah, so here it just gives you a bunch of explanation as far as the game goes, but oh, did I seriously just lose access to try to save my game? Well, dang it. Imperial piece of crap. That's funny. Yeah, so when you see things like that out there, just, you do want to try to get them. Sometimes I have like certain items. Or you shoot around things and also even you shoot at towards a spot, right? And all where something that you might be able to go into. So there's a bit of exploration on this, which is kind of fun, right? When you're riding on this dragon. And you get into battle. So this is where you really start seeing like the RPG elements of the game. So basically, it's like turn-based, right? And also, there at the bottom right, you have like what you can say like your ATB gauge, and then if you see in the middle there, you have like the green section where you're safe from attacks. But then if you rotate around, so here I am in the red section, which means that I could take some, more damage, but I can also do more damage as well too. So, like I did there. And you get a rating, and depending on the rating on what you get and all that, you get either more experience points and dying, the better you get. So it looks like I got kind of a crappy rating there. But yeah, Panzer Dragoon Saga. It looks like we're coming up here right at the end here. And so yeah, so for anyone that has any video game interest and all that, and you've been maybe hearing about this game and all, that it's sort of the one of those rare games and all. What do you think? It's a great game. It really is and all. It's just unfortunate that it's not the most easily accessible game out there. And I mean, is it worth like whatever it's going for nowadays, 1,500, 2,000, or whatever? No, it's not worth that much. That's a ridiculous amount, right? And all to spend for a video game, unless you're just a hardcore collector. And if you are, then cool, and all. But if you're just someone that wants to check the game out and all, but are not willing to spend that much money on it, definitely emulate it. It's to emulate Sega Saturn games. I mean, you do need a bit of a strong device, but for example, like I have the M.U.S.H.A 2, which is perfect for this game. So that's one way that you can play it there. But yeah, but Panzer Dragoon Saga 2, I'm sorry, Panzer Dragoon Saga, great game, and yeah, definitely one that it's. I wish they would remake this game to some extent, but unfortunately, here we are, right, and all where it's just not available right now, but maybe in the future and all where since we're getting Panzer Dragoon Saga 2 or Panzer Dragoon 2's Way at some point this week, or at least the announcement of it and all, maybe there is hope for this game. We'll see. But yeah, that's what I got on this game here. Hope you liked it. All right, and so now we go on to Ratchet and Clank. Let's start a new file here. So Ratchet and Clank. So again, this is the very first game that came out on the PlayStation 2. There was I guess you can say sort of like a remake done of it on the PlayStation 4 that came out, I believe, in 2016. The remake added some things and all that, but more or less, roughly about the same game. Yeah, so Ratchet and Clank is made from Insomniac Games, which ended up becoming one of the premier developers for under the PlayStation brand. And yeah, these games they're very creative, they're very fun. I fell in love with this first game right from the get go. I just like the not only the banter between Ratchet and Clank and all that, but one of the main selling points of this game is just his whole arsenal of weapons that you can have in this game and all. They're really fun to experiment with to use. The level layouts are really fun. The game is funny too, also, and especially these earlier ones too. I felt that there were. I mean, the humor is it's very PG/PG-13, but it's funny though. But I felt that they were a bit more edgier back then than some of the more newer entries. And the actor that plays Ratchet in this one, so I looked it up, and I want to say his name is like Mike Kelly or something like that. And so he's the one that did the voice again for Ratchet in this one. Uh, in all the future installments after this, it was James Arnold Taylor, who he's popular for doing a lot of different animations and all that in other video games, but also like Tidus in Final Fantasy X. And what's interesting is that both of them ended up voicing two of the turtles in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated movie that came out back in the early to mid 2000s. So it was kind of interesting hearing both of their voices right in that version there. And this is just my personal opinion and all, but I feel like I kind of like the actor. Again, I think his name is like Michael Kelly or something like that, and I feel that I prefer his voice for Ratchet more than I do James Arnold Taylor. And James Arnold Taylor, he's a great actor and all that. It's just I just feel like that this other actor had his kind of more snarky sort of voice and all that seems to fit the character better. But that's just my opinion and all that. And ultimately, James Arnold Taylor ended up becoming very synonymous with this character, so I've just kind of accepted it since then. But just something that I don't know, that a personal opinion, I guess. But yeah, so this game and another game too, also on the PlayStation 2, Jak and Daxter. From my understanding, they used kind of the same graphics engine, and I think it was. I might be off on my facts here, but Mark Cerny, who's one of the main programmers or developers, or architects for the PlayStation 4, 5, and 5 Pro, I want to say that he had a hand in creating this graphics engine for these games. Who also, he was one of the co-developers for Marble Madness, which is an old retro game from back in the day. So, the dude's smart. Speaking of which, though, and maybe a bit of a not to knock on the guy and all that, but like, what's going on with this PlayStation 5 Pro scenario? I got it because I wanted to sort of future proof myself a little bit, trying to get the best of the best that's out there right now. But a lot of games are coming out worse on the PlayStation 5 Pro than they are on the PlayStation 5. It kind of seems like we got scammed on that system there for the people that shelled out the money for it, because there's been a lot of games like Avatar, what was it, Call of Duty, one of the newer Call of Duty games, Metal Gear Solid Delta, Silent Hill 2, Silent Hill F, and all that all seem to run worse or look a little bit worse on the PlayStation 5 Pro than they do on the base PS5. Did I say PlayStation 2? PS5. The PS5 and the PS5 Pro is what I mean. And I don't know what's up with that. I mean, considering that, the system wasn't exactly cheap, So, but, just one of the things with the industry nowadays, that's just been kind of a nuisance, but here we are, right? But for the PlayStation 2, though, I mean, this game looked pretty stunning. The animations and all that would really, I mean, it almost looks like a cartoon in some sense. Basically, you collect all these bolts and all that, which more or less act like money in this world here. So to start off, so let's see, so I have, right now I just have my bombs. And yeah, you just want to try to collect as many bolts as you can. And in these boxes, you also unlock some extra ammo, right, for your weapons. So you have like this weapon wheel here and all that you can scroll through your weapons. Eventually, you get more weapons and all that that you can scroll between on. And that's a big part of the fun of the game and all is to experiment with all the different weapons. Funny though, because the commercials this series were pretty funny from back in the day. If you get a chance, just look them up on YouTube. They're pretty funny. The way they sort of use like real life footage and all that, but showing off some of the weapons that you can get in these games, it's pretty hilarious. So this guy, I mean, it still plays fine. Ratchet and Clank, this version, it still plays, really well. When I play it though, there was definitely some things that they improved on in the sequels, like just some of the controls and all that. But this one still plays pretty good though. I don't know. I feel like this voice just fits the character better, but that's just me, maybe. This guy cracks me up. You couldn't possibly understand. Oh, lovely. Done deal. I was really impressed with like the animations on this game and all, like on their face and everything and all. It was 3D graphics that were really looking like to the level of quality of as far as animation and all that. Maybe not quite as detailed and all, but like a lot of like the computer graphics animated movies that were coming out back then, like Toy Star and things like that. And so it really felt like we were in a new level with these games here. You have no choice. Yeah, but crazy to think this game way back in 2002 is when this game came out. Ooh, excuse me. Let's see. Do I got enough money to buy a weapon? Not quite, huh? Yeah, so there's some exploration to do in this game, right? Where you find some extra gadgets and all that, and there's also these golden bolts that are sort of like the hidden items in this game, where it takes some skill to get to them, but for people that like collecting like ultra rare stuff in games and all that, that's what this game has here. Uh oh. And so a lot of things in the environment can be destroyed. So I was just going to smack things around, see what can get destroyed. As usually, you get some bolts for that. Now, this game, what I do recall of this original one is that you do have to grind a little bit for bolts, where in the other ones, not so much, if I remember right. I mean, it's been years since I've played through this series. I played them back in the day, so because this one came out in 2002. The next one, Ratchet and Clank Going Commando, which is probably my favorite one. That would have come out in 2003, I believe. And then Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal came out in 2004, I believe. Wrong way. Yeah, because bolts don't give you a whole lot of bolts. So yeah, I do remember this one. You do have to grind a little bit, which is weird to say for like an action platformer. But so basically, whenever you see a bolt, just try to get it. Where am I? Oh, here we go. Okay. I was like, where am I going on this? You know, so Panzer Dragoon, different kind of game and all that, but it's this is another pretty big leap that we had from when we went to the fifth generation to the sixth generation, where now the 3D graphics were starting to look more like, well, this one's not like real, obviously, but just things just started looking a lot more convincing when it came to 3D games. Whack. It was a great time in gaming for me, though. I was a young adult and was just really getting into these systems here, these sixth generation systems that had come out, and was buying up a lot of games. And I gotta remember, I bought quite a bit of games there for the Dreamcast, PlayStation 2, GameCube, and Xbox. You know, this being one of them, for example. But yeah, there was just a lot of great stuff. Great generation. Still don't have quite enough money, huh? Dang it. Well, shucks. Kind of glad I have a day off tomorrow. Work hasn't been too bad, but I don't really get days off in a row. And so today was just a work trip where, you know, I had the training and all. And, you know, that was cool and all that. So it wasn't pretty laid back. And, being on the road and all that can be a little tiring a bit and all that. But at the same time, got to record a few episodes and all. And so it wasn't too bad. And then tomorrow I have off. So it kind of feels almost like I had 2 days off in a row. So can't complain with that there. Oh, am I going backwards? I think I am. Oops. Oops. Oh, where am I going? There we go. Okay. But what do I have planned tomorrow? I guess not too much. Maybe clean around the house a little bit. Maybe take my girls out somewhere. I'm not sure. My oldest, who's in school right now, well, she's in first grade. She has a half day tomorrow, so that gives us a bit of time. And also, I'll take him out just to maybe go get a little treat or something along those lines. Nope. Can I go anywhere with this? Nope. Oh, do I have to jump across? Can I make that jump? Okay, so yeah, I guess I have to go up against the current. If you hear like the loud tap into the buttons and all, I'm playing this on a one of the 8-bit Do controllers, which they work pretty good, but the bounce can be a little loud. Oops. Oh my gosh. Nope. Plumber crack. That's funny. Oh wait. I should still have enough money for that flamethrower. So yeah, so when you get these little info bots, they basically more or less tell you, like, give you a little story bit about what you can expect on the next planet. They're kind of funny. I like how some games would try to get clever with how they would do their tutorials. All right, let's buy the flamethrower. Alright, let's burn some bugs. Robotic bugs. Yeah, there's a lot of secrets in this game and all. I haven't found too many of them, but definitely worth exploring. You know, when you get to different levels and all. Unfortunately, this game, it's I mean, it's not horrible, but it does kind of suffer from one thing that the PlayStation 2 was a bit kind of struggled with was that sometimes the textures and all would look a little washed out. And while it's colorful, but at the same time, sometimes look a little washed out and all that. And the game still looks really nice and all that, but just, something that I remember noticing about PlayStation 2 games back in the day more so than, the other systems during this time. All right, but we're starting to come up here on the end, and yeah, this game here, very fun game. I remember just having a blast with it and all when it first came out. And it gets a bit hard. It's a bit challenging. And for me, from what I can recall, it's the harder one of the ones that came out on the PlayStation 2. The next two, Going Commando and Up Your Arsenal, I felt like they were a bit easier. But I haven't played these games, like I said, right, in so long, so I don't quite know just how accurate that is, if that's just what I recall. But yeah, either way, I mean, these games are really fun. Definitely some of the better games in the Sony of the Sony franchises, and was a good companion piece to like Jack and Daxter back in the day. Again, they shared similar graphics engines and all that, is my understanding of it, and so that's why like this game and Jack and Daxter games, well, both of the series, right, and all they seem to share like similar graphic styles and all that. And again, I think it was just because they were using more or less the same graphics engine. I remember reading that somewhere, so and it seems to make sense as again you look at the games and all, and they definitely look kind of similar. But yeah, but that's what I got here for Ratchet and Clank. This is a good starting point for the game. Obviously, it's the first one, so there is a remake again that came out in 2016, which looks really nice and all that. But I don't know. I feel like I said before, right? And all, I feel like the humor was a bit lost some of its edge, in the newer entries. And so I feel like it's still worth playing this one here to go back to instead of just jumping into the remake. As again, you get a kind of see a bit more not only where it started and all that, but I just feel like the humor of this style here fits better with the character as well. But again, that's just my opinion, but just from what I recall from back then. But yeah, but Ratchet and Clank, definitely a fun PlayStation game, and yeah, definitely give it a shot if you haven't already. And there's tons of games in this series as well too. So if you like this one, I'm sure you have a lot to look forward to on it. All right, and for the final game for this evening, I have here M.U.S.H.A. So okay, so it stands for. Oh, geez, I just missed it. So here is a Sega Genesis game that I'm not too familiar with. I've just played it a little bit, and so it's one that I've always wanted to play, but just never got around to it back then. But it's based off of what seems to be like this Aleste series of shoot 'em ups that their games range from, I believe, from like on the TurboGrafx and the Sega Genesis and maybe other systems, but they're like top down vertical shooters. And this one is known to be one of the better ones on the Sega Genesis. Again, I just never got around to playing it, but I'm playing this on the Nintendo Switch Online. So I was kind of surprised that this game came out on this service here. I used to love looking at these kind of animated cutscenes from the Sega Genesis back then. I do recall playing a lot of Robo-Este, which is sort of like a spin-off of this game, I believe. I'm not quite 100% sure, but that game I really enjoyed on the Sega CD. Okay, here we go. All right, so you're probably going to see me suck at this, all right? So just, you know, bear with me here. I've never played this game. I mean, I've played it before, I'm like, but I haven't really messed around with it too much. I think I played it like some time ago just to kind of test out the game. And I think I got a little ways on this level here, but if I recall right, I think like, okay. Trying to get in the zone here. That's what it is with a lot of these games. You just got to get in that zone, you know? I believe like those things that come out, I believe it powers up your main gun. Oh, geez, I wasn't pressing the B button, which shoots your like special weapon. In this case, I'm getting the green weapon. So I remember from Robo, let's say on the Sega CD, that there was a blue weapon which shot like a laser, like a blue laser beam, which is more or less what seems like this green weapon is. And I remember that was the one that was, at least for me, made the game a bit easier. So you can control like your little spaceship things there. I think they were called like options back in the day or something like that. But your little spaceship buddies that are around you, you push a button so you can control them if you wanted to kind of free roam, shoot in front of you, shoot reverse and all that. So that's kind of cool. With a lot of these shooters and all, the trick is to try to get powered up and keep that way without dying. As if you do die, you lose some of your power ups and all. Then it's kind of hard to get back up to speed and all that, right? With your power ups and all that. So oh, okay, got another green weapon there. Hey, I'm not doing too bad. Okay. Oh. Cool music. The settings kind of almost like you're in this. ancient Japan, but like it's futuristic also. I don't know. I can't quite make out exactly what's going on. All right. Yeah, I like this green weapon. Okay, so yeah, so it's a lot like that Robolessa game where the blue weapon really seems to be a weapon of choice. Oh, oh, jeez, really? God, I suck. I just had that cool weapon too. Oh, jeez. Okay. Well, tell me how much I suck. What's this? Something about shield? Oh, there's my green weapon again. It's gonna take a while to get back to where I was. Jesus. Okay, well, that was fun. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Ah. So see, that's what I'm saying. It's like if you don't keep your power ups and all that, it just the game becomes really brutal. It's like with a lot of shooters from back in the day. Oh, that's it. No continues or nothing. Damn. Alrighty. Well, let's go at it again. Gotta get good. All right, 2 Greek weapons in a row. Sweet. Yeah, but the Sega Genesis, man, it had a lot of killer shoot 'em ups on it. This is the TurboGrafx 16. It was like one area that I felt that the Sega Genesis and the TurboGrafx did better than on the, for example, like the Super Nintendo. And the Super Nintendo has some pretty cool shoot 'em ups. Also, I just felt that there were just better options on the Sega Genesis than on the TurboGrafx. Oh, another green weapon, sweet. It's funny because like I've never really played this game too much, and on the music is already just sounding very nostalgic to me. It's that Sega Genesis sound chip that just I just know it, like it just brings back so much memories. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure I would have really enjoyed this game had I been able to play it back in the day. These guys here, the ones that shoot those homing missiles, are kind of a pain in the ass. Yeah, so let's try to get those guys before they start blowing up the screen. Oh, come on. Is that a one-up I got? Oh, come on. Ah, jeez. So like you can take so many hits that your optional weapon will take before you actually start losing a life. Okay. Ah, come on. Well, boys and girls, this is how it was back in the day. You just played it over and over and over till you just learn the patterns on these games and all that. And a lot of times, no, some continues or minimal continues, and that's what you had. I gotta lie, I prefer more um, more checkpoints, just because it's kind of insane, to try to play these games nowadays. Gotta be quick. I'm hoping that with all these video games that I've played and all that, that it's gonna help keep my I don't know my reaction time and all that in pretty sharp by the time I get old. For someone that was born with seizures, I don't know if this is exactly healthy for me to be playing because I'm playing kind of close to the screen. Oh, did I get him? I'm going to go inside. I'm gonna cheat a little bit and there. So that's what I do is I'll if I beat a level and I'll save it like at the beginning, not like on the save state, just because yeah, it's kind of insane trying to play these games. Oh jeez. Oh oh oh. I do dig this game though. Oh wait, crap! I lost my weapon. Shite. They're like ninja robots. Oh, green weapon. Oh, he's vomiting out a bunch of crap. So gross. Cool music. No, I dig this game. I'm liking it. I can see what the fuss is all about on this game. It's freaking hard though. Another game that I've been kind of playing a little bit off is Blazing Lasers on the TurboGrafx 16, which might be part of the Celeste series of shooters. I'm not quite sure, but it kind of reminds me a little bit of it too. Also, that's a great game. Also, oh, green weapon, and I just lost it. That's awesome. All right, I guess I'll take this. That's it. Oh, jeez. All right, let's try this again. Damn, I only got like one guy though. So you got to be careful sometimes with using your save states also because, like, here I am starting on this and I just got one guy. Cool music. Oh yeah, it's so cool when you discover like old games that you never really played before back in the day, but like you knew about them and all that. You're like, yeah, I know that game's good, but you've never really played it before. And so, like I said, I have played this game before, and I don't know, I might have gone to the first boss before, but I never did beat it. And so this is the first I've ever made it. I'm digging it. I'm gonna kind of choose it a little bit. I don't really want to start all the way from the beginning. Oh, come on. Okay. Well, good thing I guess I saved it. So I don't get it. So it says 0 and 0. So I know I don't have like any lives and all that, but and I know that like if you have a secondary weapon, it seems to kind of act as a at least take some of the damage for you. Well, I guess I don't quite understand the system. Oh jeez. Oh come on. Shoot 'em ups have been making a bit of a comeback fairly recently. There's been some pretty cool indie shoot 'em ups that I've been messing around with a bit, and they're pretty cool. Like Devil's Engine, Drainus, I think it's called. Those are pretty cool shoot 'em ups. I tell you, retro gaming or indie gaming has really been taking off, and I'm here for it. I love it. Give us the best of the new, and also games styles of the old, and we'll be happy. Oh, oh, oh. Whoa, whoa, no! Oh, come on. You need to get quite a bit of those to power up your main gun. What I don't get is, how do you change your speed? Oh, come on. Jesus. One of the, no, I don't know. I kind of want to stick to this green weapon. Oh no, I got too close to the edge there. Ah, dang it. I guess I gotta get this weapon then. Like napalm bombs. Oh, and I lost that. Okay. So tell me, how bad do I suck? But see, this is why I like save states. I mean, seriously, you know, and all. It's just, oh, slow down. Sometimes you kind of appreciate the slowdown, though, in these games here. Oh, making it a little bit further than it was before. Let's not jinx it. No, I got rid of my green weapon. Oh, can I make it to the boss? Try to beat him on one life. Let's go. Okay, so that thing can hurt enemies. I thought it was almost just like a shield of some sort. Oh, I beat the stage. Good job, me. Kind of cheating, but what is? Fucking kick-ass soundtrack. Ooh, what's that? Oh, we're looking enemy dude there. He's starting off already with like a little mini boss. Cool. Oh shit. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's a cool effect. Oh, that looks cool. The sense of like death and 3D, almost like a 3D effect and all that. That looks pretty cool on the ground there. I like it. Oh, going fast, going fast. See, I don't know how you like adjust your speed though. Okay, well my time's coming up on this. I'll just see how far I can get here with this one last life. Man, this game has got me like in the zone almost. I love it. I love zoning out to a game like this, and where you're like just trying to get hyper focused to, be able to survive basically. Like I like adventure games and all that. I mean, they tend to be in RPGs and all. They tend to be my more favorite games. But I do love having like games like this in my rotation, where it's just fun, fast. Keeps you on your toes and all that, and keeps you young, I guess. No, I'm not doing half bad. Oh, don't jinx it. Again, if you keep your weapons, it definitely becomes easier. It's just when you lose them where. Well, okay, I'll see how far I can get on this. Oh, jeez. Oh. Oh, did I beat him? Oh no! Oh crap! I mean, I kind of did. I got phase 2. Uh, did I get him? I just lost my green weapon. Oh, I did get him. Okay, so that'll do it for this game here. I'll save it there. But yeah, cool game though. That's the farthest I ever gotten in this game, and yeah, it just definitely takes me back to those old shoot 'em up days from the 16-bit generation. There were some cool shoot 'em ups from earlier than that, but I really feel like the fourth generation was the peak of this genre right here. So if you have any interest in these shoot 'em ups and all that, definitely check out a lot of these games from back in this days, from specifically the Sega Genesis and the TurboGrafx, and some on the Super Nintendo as well too. As you're gonna find a lot of great stuff here. In this game, I'm really liking this game here, and yeah, just a lot of great stuff. There's a lot of indie games also that are, like I said, right, shoot 'em ups and all that have been coming out fairly recently and all that are definitely worth checking out. So like again, like Dranius, uh, Devil Engine. Um, oh god, I forgot some of the names of some of the other ones that I've been kind of looking at, but that definitely it's a fun genre, definitely challenging, but that's the point of them, right? And all that definitely makes them fun. But yeah, but thanks for hanging out with me here. This was fun to explore these games, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good night.